Hey guys, I'm back, the non-YouTuber. But I'm back because a lot of you asked me about the vitamin C serum. Again, it's really easy, kind of the same ingredients except for the powders are different. Okay, so let's start with the ingredients first. Again, we're going to start with vitamin C powder. It's the same company as the hyaluronic acid. It's Bose Essentials. But you're going to make sure it's actually called L-Ascorbic Acid. It's pure vitamin C powder, and I'm going to write it there so you guys can know how to spell it. And this is basically vitamin C, but ultra fine. Just make sure that you get ultra fine because a lot of people get either tablets or they get the regular one, and even after you crunch it up, it just doesn't dissolve well enough. Again, it doesn't have to be this brand, but I use this brand because it works for me, and it's ultra fine, okay? And it's a 4-ounce bag. I think, again, $10 or $15, one of the two. Lasts a long time. I still have plenty. And in the back of the bag, you'll see instructions here, but they don't tell you exactly, how much water to use or what else. It'll go from 5% to 20%. Now, the higher you go, the stinger you'll feel. I kind of like it because that makes me feel like it's really working. So if you want to start with 5 or 10%, that's perfect. This is why I say use it at night because you also want to stay out of the sun. And if you do use it in the morning, then make sure you use an SPF, okay? You don't want to be directly in the sun with vitamin C. Buy one of these little jars and make sure that these jars, okay, they're 1-ounce jars. You can buy them on Amazon, and they must be either brown or blue, because you need to keep this not in the fridge. You need to keep this in a dark spot because the shelf life on vitamin C is only 1 week. I usually, after 1 week, what you'll see is instead of it being, I have one already made that I'm almost down to, see, and I've only used it 4 or 5 times. If you can see, it's clear. But what happens is it oxidizes because there's no preservatives. You're not going to put anything in here to preserve it. So you have a week. After a week, if you see a tint of yellow or turning orange, throw it out. It won't harm you, but it doesn't do any good. You're just wasting your time. Very important. Make sure you get these online. They're really cheap. They're like $10 for I don't know, a whole bunch of them. I keep one with a vitamin C letter on it, one with an H on it for the hyaluronic acid. If I travel, I throw it in my bag. Another thing you're going to need also is, again, measuring teaspoon. This is only teaspoons. You don't need tablespoons on this one. So you're going to need that. Again, you'll need a small bowl to mix because this is going to be a very small amount. You're not going to need a lot. You're going to put your ingredients, which is, again, distilled water. Don't use any kind of tap water or whatever water from the fridge, from the filter. Just make sure it's just distilled. You're going to use this is your vegetable glycerin, and it's just going to be a little bit so that it doesn't feel greasy. You're going to use very little of this. This is a little bit big, but I use it to pour the liquid in here. So let's go ahead and get started. I have 2 tips. I bought this from a company, everybody knows, a cream company. And it is, and what it is an exfoliator. You don't have to super exfoliate every time, but like every other 2 or 3 times, it's good to do that. You can see it spinning, and then it's got 2 speeds. So I exfoliate my whole face, make sure everything's off. I don't have any makeup on right now, and my lovely South Florida look is, yeah, okay. This works great. This will make your skin real soft and ready to absorb everything. Now, the other little trick I just learned the other day is, you guys recognize these. Somebody told me the other day, hey, just wet it and use it on your face. And it's an instant exfoliator, like a light exfoliation. It's just so your little layer of skin comes off and this vitamin C can penetrate better. So coffee filters, you don't have to exfoliate each time, but try and do it every other time. Now, there's going to be different concentrations, and there's going to be 5%, 10%, 15%, and 20%. I use 20% because I'm used to it, and I like the feeling of the stinging. My face doesn't really turn red. It used to a little bit, but it goes away right away. If you've never used it or you want to start with a 5% or 10%, I'm going to put the amount that you're supposed to use for those percentages. So I would start with a 5 or 10 if you're very fair skin. See how you feel. If maybe a couple of times after it goes away, you don't feel anything, then I would jump up to the 15% and then go from there to 20. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is I'm just going to give you the recipe for the 20% because that's what I use. So we're going to do 1/4 teaspoon for the vitamin C. So measure out 1/4 teaspoon, and I'm going to put it in here first, the powder. And then for that, use 1 teaspoon of water. But what I do is I double this up because that's very little. So I want to fill this up. Whatever recipe you want to use, whatever percentage, just double that, and then it'll fill this little tube. I think 1 week is, that's worth 1 week right here. So I'm going to start, first of all, with 1/4 teaspoon, which that means that I'm going to double it. So I'm going to do 1/2 teaspoon, put it in here. Then I'm going to take, because it only requires 1 teaspoon, I'm going to double it up and put 2 teaspoons of water. You're going to mix it up, mix it up, mix it up, and you're going to be like, wow, that's really weird. It's cloudy. It's cloudy because it's not dissolved yet completely. But before we finish, we're just going to add maybe 1/4 teaspoon or 1/8 of a teaspoon of the glycerin. Like maybe 5, 6 drops. You can even feel it on your fingers. You can adapt later and see how it feels. And that way I have the perfect smooth on without feeling greasy. So once I mix those 3 ingredients up all together, stir, 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 and all of a sudden you'll see it is completely clear. Once it is completely clear, what I take is one of these. This is a little big. So this is an empty jar. I take this and I'm going to put it on top of this and just pour it in here. That's all. Just pour it in here and you'll see it fill up. And I have some right here. This is mine. What it should look like, and you're just going to mix it up. You don't have to put it in the fridge. You don't have to do anything like that, like the hyaluronic acid. So here's mine. You can see, right? Clear. Remember, if it starts turning yellow, the slightest tint of yellow or slightest tint of orange, it's off. Shelf life is maximum 1 week. So you will be needing to make it once a week. Doesn't matter if you put it in the fridge or anything. But please make sure that your jars are dark because light is not good for it, and store it in your medicine cabinet or somewhere in the bathroom when there's no light. So that's basically it. I'm going to put down the ingredients below, and I'm also going to put down the 5 to 20% in order for you to try it out, maybe 5%, then 10%, or maybe you can just go ahead and do 20%. Some people can tolerate it. It's not bad at all. It actually feels good because you feel it working. And vitamin C will give you that glow. It almost feels like a mini facial because it goes into your skin and it just really smooths out your lines. And then once you do all this vitamin C, then as soon as that dries, you can put your hyaluronic acid on top of it. That's why I don't like to use a lot of glycerin, because the glycerin of the hyaluronic acid, the glycerin of vitamin C, now you might be stuck with a little bit too much glycerin. And then you want to use your moisturizer, which I'm sure also has some sort of, if you look at the ingredients, it has glycerin as well. But other than that, like I said, all these ingredients, you can buy these on Amazon. I'll put all the names of the companies that I use down below so you can look it up on Amazon. Very inexpensive, and in the stores you're going to pay a fortune. So I think that's my cue to go because it's going to start raining, and my little horrible gremlin over there, Mini Dachshund, is telling me it's time to go, Mama. I'll see you again next time. This is kind of fun, so you might be seeing my face quite often. Anyway, it's Thursday, so have a great weekend. Be safe. Bye.